Hey everyone, this is Felicia with The Book is Done. Please forgive my voice. I am under the weather, totally under the weather, and I need to be resting. I will be, but I had to at least get these books off my chest. So, this book that I am going to talk about now is the first that I've read of hers. Definitely won't be my last. This right here, The Child at My Door by Sam Vickery. When you read this, 15 years ago, hold on, 15 years ago, daughter died. This child couldn't be hers. Let me tell you something. 15 years, your daughter died. This child couldn't be hers. Let me tell you something. This book right here blew me away. It made me mad in the beginning, and even throughout the book, because I was just like, okay, now let's get to it. And it was building up. It was building up and building that foundation. And the more that it built, the more I got upset. Because, I mean, I get into these characters. Like, I like to put myself in their mindset, in their shoes. And there was legit this woman. She was an older woman, maybe like in her 50s, 60s. And this little boy, um, he's dropped off at her front door. Like, when she opens the door, she sees this 5-year old little boy in a taxi that's like at the end of the sidewalk on the curb. And he says, "Hi, Grandma." And she's like, "I'm sorry? How is that possible?" And she's asking that because she had two children. She had a son and a daughter. The son was the oldest. The son had died, and then the daughter had seemingly died. And so she was like, when they died at that time, they were like under 18, maybe like 15 and 12. And so it's just like, how are you my grandchild? Like, her husband died of a heart attack. So like, she's the only one that she has left of her family. So she's like, how in the world is this child mine? Like, there's no way. So she brings the child in, and his name is Tommy, and so her name is Clarissa. So she's just racking her brain as to how this is, and she was like, "I'm sorry, sweetie. Um, what did you say your mom's name is?" And he said Chloe, and Chloe was her daughter's name, and she was just like, "That's not possible." This is all like in the beginning of the book, like the first 10 pages of the book. I'm like, "Holy crap, what's going on?" So, long story short, Chloe Chloe was alive. Chloe was very much alive. She was in an abusive relationship, and hence the first trigger. There is a lot of domestic violence in this book. Um, a lot of domestic violence. Makes you uncomfortable if you are sensitive to that type thing. But it is. It's drug abuse, alcohol abuse, um, mental abuse, domestic violence. Um, I would say that that's like the biggest part of it. It's a lot of psychological and mental abuse in this book. Um, and it's on both sides, because a lot of people think that, oh, it's just the man, it's just the man. No, in this one, it's the other side as well. It's a woman doing the same thing to a man. And so, very, 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 very interesting. Like, with this book, you have to go in with an open mindset, especially like when you get towards the middle to end of the book, where it's just like you're starting to get all of everything with the story. And so I do not remember the husband's name of Clarissa, but Clarissa is the grandmother. Chloe is the daughter, who is very much alive. Tommy is the son. Scott is the father of Tommy. So Chloe and Scott were together. They conceived Tommy, and the older brother, or I'm sorry, Chloe is the daughter of Clarissa, and then Rodri, I don't know how you pronounce his name. Rodri is Rhodri, and he is the older brother of Chloe, and so I think they're like 3 years apart, 3 4 years apart. So, long story short, something happened as to where Chloe ran away 15 years ago, and she never came back. So her mom assumed that she was dead. Like, she just vanished in the middle of the night. And hence comes this little boy. And so, fast forward, the little boy shows up on the doorstep. Chloe sends him to the mother's house, because, in essence, she was leaving the abusive relationship. And so she did what she had to do to protect her son. respect. And so she sent him to the mother's house. So the little boy is with the grandmother. Chloe shows up. Mom, Clarissa, is like in shock because she hasn't seen her in 15 years. So her daughter is like 30, 29, well, 30, 31. And she's in shock. And she's just like, I thought you were dead. And this little boy shows up on my doorstep. And so they are rekindling that relationship. And so Chloe is trying to get herself together, trying to get her footing and, become stable and becoming accustomed to being a single parent. And Clarissa just has like this whole protective demeanor. And it's like when you first look at it, it's like, oh, she's just being a protective grandmother. She's telling Chloe that she's not strong enough mentally to take care of him. And it was starting to get to the point where it was uncomfortable, where it was like she flat out just told her she was unfit. Like Clarissa told Chloe she was unfit as a mother. And Clarissa's like, give me my child. And so her mother, in a sense, I feel like, in a sense, kind of like borderline kidnapped him from her. Like she refused to let Chloe see her son. And it was some shady boot stuff going on with the neighbors, where the neighbors were just really involved because it was like Clarissa had this whole household full of family, and then one by one they just died. And so Rodri died. He died. And Clarissa told Chloe that it was her fault because she was saying how Chloe used to sleepwalk and she used to like do these crazy things. She was very sleep. Clarissa was very sleep deprived because she had to watch Chloe because she didn't know what Chloe was gonna do. Excuse me. Excuse me. And so, all this time, Clarissa or Chloe is thinking that she killed her brother. Spoiler, just a little one. She did not kill him. He is very much alive. I would say maybe like towards the third or the fourth of the book, um, she comes across this man. I want to say he's like a realtor. And she says, that is my brother. Like, that's his face. I cannot, like, they didn't have a funeral for him or anything like that. They were just, Mom, Clarissa just said, like, he's gone. Rodri's gone. And you killed him. So, like, she never let Chloe see him, things of that nature. So, in essence, Chloe, is trying to get herself together and she sees that I think they're in like a Starbucks or something like that. And she sees that he's a realtor because he was with some of his partners. And so, in essence, she comes across him and is like, hey, she made it seem like she wanted to go and look at a house. And so, when she does come for a showing, she's like, hey, I'm your sister. And he's like, what are you talking about? And she was like, I'm Chloe. Like, I'm Chloe. Your mom's name was Clarissa. Like, have you been alive this whole time? Like, have you been here this whole time? So I'm not going to go any further into that. But baby, let me tell you, that book, oh my gosh, that book was so eye-opening and heartbreaking because of the scenario in which the ending brought. And it was eye-opening and sad at the same time. And it made your heart ache for people in that situation. I like I said, I'm not going to give it away, but when I tell you that will not be the last book that I read of Sam Vickery's, that was really, 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 really good book. I have to mentally get my nerves prepared for whatever I read next by her or him. I can't remember if it's a man or a woman. I'm sorry. But in all things, this was a really, really, really good book. So good. So in all things, this is called The Child at My Door by Sam Vickery. Please feel free to check it out. Everything that I talk about, I get on Amazon. I love Amazon. But they are with the publishing company Bookouture. And so definitely look them out as well. Is BOOKOUTURE. publishing company, and so definitely feel free to check them out. But that really was a good book. So if there are any other books that you have read of theirs, let me know in the comments. Let me know what your thoughts are. This is Felicia with The Book Is Done, and I'm out.